In this video I'm going to show you how we can modify some existing 3D shapes and add some more details to them. So in this video I'm going to go through how we could add something like a rebate joint to the ends of this particular piece that we've drawn in the previous two videos. So like in the previous videos, this is a 140 wide by 19mm thick piece of timber, right? And I've made it 300mm long. If I wanted to add some rebate joints to the end of this, I'm going to need to do some general sketching to show where I want those rebate joints to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my sketch tool, I'm going to select it. I then need to select which face of this 3D shape that I've got I want to actually sketch onto. Alright, so for my rebate joint, the easiest way to do that would be to draw my lines on the top of it. Alright, you could also do them on the edges, which I might show you at the end of this video, but the easiest way to do this would be to do it on the top, because we're only going to have to draw one single line, whereas if we do it on the edges we will have to draw two, which you'll see as we go through this. So I'm going to select this top face, so this is where I want to draw my lines for the rebate joint. So if it's a rebate joint on 19mm thick timber, I'm going to need to measure in from this edge that I've highlighted in yellow towards the center of the piece 19mm, just like I would if I was marking the timber out in the workshop. So to do that, I'm going to select my offset tool. The offset tool is this one just here right next to the pair of scissors on the right. Keyboard shortcut is O. So you can either select the offset tool by clicking on it, or you can click O on the keyboard. Once you've selected the offset tool, we're then going to select the edge that we want to offset a line from. So this one, I'm going to click on it. It's then asking us what direction do we want that line to be offset. For a rebate joint, we're going to measure in towards the center, 19mm, so I need to click on that arrow to change the direction. I can then either click, so you can see the mouse is popping up next to my cursor telling me that I can click to confirm, or I can press enter. Once I do that, it's going to ask me what measurement do I want to draw that offset line at. So as I said before, a rebate joint would be 19mm, so I'm going to type in 19 and I'm going to press enter, and I now have an offset line that's been drawn 19mm from that edge. Just like before, if I need to edit that measurement, I want to make sure I have no tools selected, and I'll know that when I hover over the edge I'll get this cross cursor instead, and I can double click on my measurement and I can change it to whatever I want to change it to. So I'm going to make sure it's 19. I'm going to do the same thing on the other end just to do a rebate there as well. So I'll select my offset tool, select that line, it's coming in the correct way, click again, I'm going to type in my 19. The reason I want to show you two is I'm going to show you how we can then use our extrude tool to extrude multiple things at once. So if you were doing joinery, a lot of the time when we're doing timber joinery, we have very similar joinery on either ends of a piece, particularly rails. So in this instance I'm going to show you how we can use the extrude tool to finish off that joinery and take something away, just like we would in the timber workshop with a router or a chisel, tools like that. So once we're happy with our sketch, I've got my two lines that I've drawn in 19mm. I can select this tick to accept it, and now I'm ready to use my extrude tool to take away my rebate joints. So I'm going to go up and select my extrude tool, or Shift E to select it. This time in our options we're going to select remove. We don't want to add anything to this piece, we actually want to take something away. So if we're taking away, we're going to remove. We don't want to remove 25mm, the piece is only 19mm thick, so taking away 25 would just effectively cut off the ends of the piece. A rebate joint is usually half of our thickness, so if it's 19mm, half of our thickness is going to be 9.5. I can press enter. So I've now set what I need my extrude tool to do. I can now go and select what it is I want to extrude. So you can see now I'm getting separate rectangles coming up as I hover my mouse. So what I'm now going to do is select the 2 rectangles that I want to remove, and it gives me a rough guide of what's going to be taken away. And if I'm happy with that, I can tick, and I've created my 2 rebate joints. Now, as I was talking about in previous videos and in this one, you can always go back and modify this. So if you get that extrusion wrong, if you haven't quite taken the correct amount off, you put in the wrong depth for the extrusion, you can always double click on that extrude and you can go in and you can change it. So if I only wanted to take off 5mm, I can change it to 5. If I wanted it to be 10, I can make it 10. So we can always go back in and change it. Just like if the distance that I measured in from the edge is incorrect, or I'm going to be using something thicker all of a sudden in my particular project and I want to change that, I can go back into that initial sketch and I can modify those measurements. So say I wanted to join 30mm thick timber to this instead. I can modify how wide those are, and when I accept the sketch, you'll see that the extrusion that I did applies to the same box that I had. It's just become bigger because I've changed that measurement. Similarly, if I wanted to go and change the size of the original piece, so I no longer wanted it to be 300 by 140, I wanted it to be 400 by 140, I can change that measurement and I can accept it, and it will make the whole piece longer. It'd be the same if I wanted to make the whole piece thicker. I could change it to make the whole piece thicker, and I've now got a 25mm thick piece with my same small extrusions for my rebates. So you can go in at any time back into any of these steps that you've done and modify the measurements, and they will change